6 signs that show you carry the seed of Buddhist practice from many lifetimes. Have you ever looked at this life caught in the ceaseless struggle for existence and competition and felt within you an empty space that no material thing can fill? That is the moment when part of your soul begins to call you back, guiding you towards stillness and inner return. It may be the germ of Buddhist practice awakening within you, a seed of awakening. This calling is not a path that everyone walks. It is neither a doctrine forced upon anyone nor a compulsory mission. It is a gradual awakening, when we realize that joy no longer comes from fame or status, but from stillness, from compassion, from unconditional love. It is when we see that life is not merely a series of pursuits, but a journey to understand ourselves and the world around us. To recognize those who carry the seed of practice, the ancients left us 6 subtle signs. They are neither grand nor ostentatious, but quietly profound, like an underground stream flowing beneath the earth or an ember glowing steadily within. Such a person embodies a serene presence, boundless generosity, and an outlook filled with compassionate love. They do not speak of this, yet if you listen, you will feel a pure energy and a gentle peace that lightens the heart. Sign 1. A constant search for profound meaning in life. Those who bear this seed are not satisfied with surface-level impressions. They carry within them a thirst for something deep and lasting, beyond shallow or fleeting values. Big questions arise in their hearts, questions that only they can answer. They ask themselves, why was I born? And what deeper meaning lies in this life that I have yet to discover? To them, happiness is not a momentary thrill or a short-lived high. True happiness must linger in inner peace, unmoved by life's changes. They do not seek joy in luxurious clothing or fleeting fame. Instead, they look inward, where material status cannot reach. Life for them becomes not mere survival, but a path of learning and awakening. They may sit quietly under a tree, watching a river flow, and ask themselves, what good can I leave behind? Or how should I live so that, when I depart, I have no regrets? Such reflections grow until they gently steer them along the spiritual path. They are never content living an ordinary life that drifts with the tides of fortune. They sense an internal summons, a guiding light drawing them toward the true purpose of their existence, even when they feel their way in the dark. In every moment of honest living, of sharing and loving, they find that happiness lies not in the destination but in the journey itself. Sign 2. Deep empathy and compassion. Those with this seed possess a heart like a spring of love, flowing compassion into every corner of life. They respond especially to suffering, loss, and hardship around them. When they see someone in pain, they cannot remain indifferent. They feel it as if a wound had opened in their own soul. A single tear becomes an echo of their own heart. Their sensitivity extends beyond human suffering to the plight of all living beings. If they see an injured bird or a stray animal lost and alone, their heart aches on behalf of every life. This sensitivity is not weakness, but the flowering of genuine compassion, a soul open to understanding and loving. They know that every life has value, and that in a world of suffering, compassion is the light that guides the lost. Because they feel deeply, they cannot stand by when others suffer. They offer help, even in small ways, a comforting glance, an encouraging word, or simply a silent presence. They do not seek thanks, for to see suffering and do nothing is unbearable. This compassionate heart does not expect reward. It exists simply to respond to pain with love. As the ancients taught, only in feeling sorrow can we truly open our hearts to care, and in feeling compassion can we share the burden of the world. Sign 3. Living simply and not chasing material possessions. Those who carry this seed understand that material wealth cannot define happiness or life's true meaning. They see through the illusions of money, status, and fame, things as fleeting as smoke. They know that possessions may accumulate but cannot fill the void within, and that outward splendor cannot nourish an inner calm. Therefore, they choose a simple, gentle life, free from excessive striving. They do not crave elaborate clothing or lavish possessions. They accept that life is fragile and that each day brings us closer to life's limit. Only our inner values endure. Rather than spend their lives amassing wealth, they cultivate spiritual qualities and noble virtues. For them, true abundance lies in contentment with what they have and without endless longing. Their home may lack luxury items or expensive decorations, but it exudes a warm simplicity. They find joy in humble moments, a simple meal, a green garden corner, a morning spent watching clouds drift by. These simple pleasures are priceless moments of deep peace that no amount of money can buy. In simplicity, they discover profound tranquility, a satisfaction in every present moment. They do not reject material life entirely but regard money as a means rather than an end. They know when enough is enough. Such contentment brings peace, like a clear stream flowing through rocks, quiet and pure. This simplicity is a choice of the heart, a path to serenity. And when their lives pass, they leave behind not possessions, but the legacy of compassion, peace, and wisdom, the greatest riches of the soul. Sign 4. A frequent sense of loneliness and alienation. Those who carry this seed often feel an invisible gap between themselves and the world around them. Amid crowds racing after status and material gain, they feel out of place. This sense of separation is not a rejection of life itself, but an awareness that their soul finds no comfort in the values most people pursue. They wonder whether they are different, whether there is something they have yet to discover. To them, life is not an endless whirl of ambition, power, or possessions. Whenever they witness others competing, a nameless sadness wells up inside. In the bustle of everyday life, they walk a solitary path, a road few are willing to tread. And so they feel lonely. Yet within that loneliness they find something precious, themselves. In moments alone, when the world's noise subsides, they can peer deep into their own heart and hear its true voice. Those are the times they feel most at peace, granted permission to slow down, unhurried by any external demands. They cherish this stillness because only in silence does their mind become clear, unclouded by worldly concerns. At the same time, this solitude can be wearying. They may feel adrift when they cannot find anyone who shares their thoughts and struggles. But they know this is part of their spiritual journey, a challenge that demands courage to stand apart, confront the darkness within, and continue seeking genuine values. Sometimes that sense of alienation feels like a test they must overcome to advance on the path. They are like a small boat on a vast river, undisturbed by the current. They maintain a gentle, sometimes solitary rhythm, aware that their path is not one everyone will understand or share. They learn to embrace their loneliness, discovering that real happiness does not lie in blending in with the crowd, but in finding peace within themselves. Like a lamp in the dark, they stand firm in solitude, their inner light a steadfast testament to the values they hold dear. They understand that walking alone, when necessary, is part of the road to awakening, to true freedom, and to an incomparable serenity. Sign 5. A readiness to forgive and a commitment to harmony. Those who carry this seed understand life as a continuous flow of stumbles and mistakes. They know that, like a river navigating rapids, every person must face moments of weakness and unintended harm. With this deep insight, they cultivate a boundless compassion, ready to forgive and let go of the hurts, whether inflicted intentionally or by accident. They recognize that on the journey of life, everyone experiences moments of fragility, times when they wound others without even realizing it, because they too are struggling to find meaning and balance. Rather than cling to resentment, they choose release. To them, forgiveness is not a sign of weakness, but a strength that frees the heart from the weight of past grievances. They see every grudge as a stone that binds the soul, preventing it from finding peace. That is why they consistently seek to resolve conflicts and soothe tensions with gentle words. If words fail, they embrace silence, valuing harmony over winning an argument. Often, a simple smile or a nod is enough to preserve goodwill and transform discord into understanding. They trust that every person can change, that everyone has the potential to become a better version of themselves. With such a forgiving heart, they do not judge others, but view them with empathy and understanding, knowing they too have made mistakes. They do not demand perfection from anyone, for they appreciate that each of us is a learner, learning how to live and to love. Forgiveness, for them, is not unconditional acceptance, but a bridge toward reconciliation and mutual understanding. They step back when needed, yielding a little ground to create a peaceful space for both sides. To many, their gentleness may seem a weakness or excessive kindness. In truth, it springs from the strength of their compassion. They know life is short and that holding on to resentment only deepens loss, whereas forgiveness brings relief to both giver and receiver. They seek a tranquil mind by living kindly with the world and with others, so that at life's end they can smile in peace, unburdened by past hurts. Thus, those with this seed live with open hearts and hands ever ready to soothe. They embody limitless compassion without expectation of return, simply living in harmony with their deepest values, like a gentle breeze that brings calm to all it touches. Sign 6. A special interest in Buddhism or spiritual traditions. Those who carry this seed often feel, as their awareness deepens, a powerful attraction to Buddhist philosophy or other spiritual teachings that emphasize compassion and awakening. This is not a fleeting curiosity, but rather a sense that they have discovered a part of themselves within those teachings. They are naturally drawn to profound lessons on kindness, letting go, and the path to liberation from suffering and delusion. Concepts such as karma, interdependent causes, and reincarnation take root in their hearts. They believe that everything in life happens for a reason and that their present experiences are the result of past actions. Such understanding inspires them to live more responsibly, mindful of each thought and action. When faced with hardship, they do not blame fate but see challenges as lessons shaped by karma, opportunities to refine the soul and reclaim inner peace. Often they feel called to visit sacred places, to seek out teachers, scriptures, or dharma talks for reflection. In those moments, they sense a profound healing, as if those truths have touched the deepest part of their being, guiding them back to their innate goodness and purity. They find solace in living according to the teachings, releasing greed, hatred, and delusion, and embracing the impermanence of existence. For them, teachings on no self, relinquishing the ego, and living in harmony with all beings are not foreign ideas but familiar truths waiting to be awakened at the right time. They may not label themselves as Buddhist or adhere to any single religion, yet these values become their compass, their faith illuminating their life's journey. They often contemplate life and death, past lives and future lives, and find answers to their deepest questions within spiritual teachings. They no longer fear death, understanding it as a transition, a step in the soul's journey toward liberation. Belief in rebirth leads them to live carefully, with love and compassion, so that when they eventually depart this world, they do so peacefully. Their interest in spirituality is never showy, but rather a quiet, profound presence in their daily words and deeds. They strive to act with compassion and clarity. These teachings are not mere theory but the lens through which they view life, feel its ups and downs, and confront all difficulties. Guided by these truths, they find a path of peace and kindness, learning that even amid impermanence and suffering, the light of compassion shines the way to tranquility and freedom. Conclusion. Reflecting on these 6 signs makes us realize that these qualities are not a privilege reserved for a select few, but a potential hidden within each of us. Anyone can discover peace in simplicity, compassion in forgiveness, awakening in stillness, and a deep connection to the spiritual. All it takes is time to listen and cultivate one's inner life. These signs are not meant to distinguish us from others, but to act as a lamp that prompts the question, how have I been living? Do I truly understand myself? The spiritual path is not a journey to prove difference, but a journey to return to our essence and become our best selves. By looking inward, we come to understand ourselves and feel our bond with the world around us. Whenever we soften our hearts in compassion, forgive others, let go of shallow desires, and turn toward inner peace, we reconnect with the seed of practice within our own souls. The greatest lesson this seed can teach us is that happiness begins not outside but within. This journey has no end point. It is an endless path of growth and self-discovery. Living with this seed does not mean abandoning everything, but knowing sufficiency, letting go, and opening our hearts so that when we face life, we feel light and serene. If every day we live with a bit of compassion, simplicity, and sincerity, we step by step become those who carry this seed in the midst of the world. Life is fleeting and finite, yet a heart oriented toward goodness, a soul that knows love and understanding, becomes an endless legacy, a greatest gift we each can leave behind. Therefore, no matter what path you are on, live fully. Love and remain calm so that every moment is meaningful and every day brings you closer to peace and awakening.